Hi guys, this week we're going through our top 10 favourite TV characters, which is actually really tricky for me because I just didn't know who to put on this list, and I'm 100% sure that I've forgotten someone, but I don't know who, and I just watched too much TV to narrow it down to 10 characters. It was really tricky, but I will run through them now. There's also a lot of overlap with my crushes that we did a few weeks ago. So number one was also number one on my crushes list, which is Brian Kinney from Queer as Folk, and I can't really explain why, but he is just perfect, even though he's completely screwed up. I think this is where my Sarah comes in. My top two, I think, are quite similar to me, which is weird, and you'll see why, because they're completely different. So I feel like they're kind of two polar opposites that merge together to make me, maybe. I don't know. So yeah, Brian Kinney, he's completely dysfunctional and stuff, but I also think he's hilarious, a great friend, really loyal, and just says what he thinks, but I think without being horrendously mean. I think he cares a lot about people, that he cares about the people he should care about, and he just knows not to bullshit the rest of the time, and I don't know, I just love him. It's Brian Kinney. Number two, so the complete other end of my personality, Chandler Bing. He's hilarious, he's awkward, so exactly not like Brian, who's kind of the suavest person there is. He just makes a complete idiot of himself in all the situations that I would. Number three was also on my crushes list, which is Spike. I think he's a really interesting character who changes a lot but always stays the same. So I think he has always been kind of good somewhere, and obviously as the seasons go on in Buffy it's brought out more and more in him. But I think he's, again, hilarious. In the same way as Brian, he cares about the people he should care about and doesn't care if he doesn't care about other people. I think that maybe unites them. And he's just really funny and lovely and sweet. His relationship with the whole Summers family I love. His relationship with Angel is hilarious. His relationship with his mother. You can see in the way he interacts with other characters, I think, the real merits of his character, and I think he's a great character. Number four is also a Buffyverse character, Wesley Wyndham-Pryce. When you meet Wes in Buffy, he's hilarious because he's a complete bumbling idiot. He's just inappropriate all the time and stupid and just completely too book smart, doesn't have a clue how the real world works. And I think, like I said with Spike, and I think is the case with every Buffy Angel character, I could have put so many on the list here, like Willow and Buffy herself, and just countless others, Andrew. They have really interesting character arcs, so what Joss Whedon and the whole team and the Buffy writers knew how to do really well was character arcs, and the change in Wes is just incredible. It's a complete turnaround, and there are moments when you don't like him for reasons, but I just think he's a great character in the kind of core sense of character. He's just written really well, he's put together really well, and every point of his arc is believable and interesting and has its own merits. At pretty much any point you can pull out a character and say, yeah, he's a great character, but when you look at the whole package, it's something else. Number five is Brooke Davis from One Tree Hill. She's so brave and strong and doesn't take any shit from anyone, basically. She just goes for what she wants to do and goes strong with it. I just think she's a great character. She's fun when she wants to be, she's serious. She has the same sort of fears as I have. There are a lot of things she says in episodes I'm like, yeah, no, I can really relate to that. And yeah. Number 6 and 7 are both from Parks and Rec. And as I said with Buffy, I could have chosen pretty much anyone from this show. All the characters are hilarious. Seriously had to cut this one down, but I've gone for Ron Swanson and Ben Wyatt. And Ben I talked about in my crushes video, but he's just so adorably nerdy and great. And then Ron Swanson is just so hilariously uninterested in everything. But again, relationships are where his character really comes out, so you can see his relationship with Leslie is just so sweet. I just think he's hilarious, which is obviously a great credit to the writer, because on paper Ron Swanson is everything you should hate, basically. But he is just hilarious. Also a massive credit to Nick Offerman for playing him so amazingly. So yes, Ron Swanson, because no one compares to him. Then I've gone for Hanna Marin from Pretty Little Liars, who is just very Brooke-like, actually. Hannah and Brooke have a lot of similarities. They're the only two women on my list, which I think, I don't know, I see a flaw in the way women characters are written, that they're too often guided by their emotions. There are a lot of characters who narrowly missed this list who are women who wouldn't fall under that criteria, like all the women in Buffy. Jen Lindley from Dawson's Creek, Abby Mills from Sleepy Hollow. But a lot of the time I feel like I don't relate to women characters much because they're a bit too emotional, and that's just not who I am. All the women that I just mentioned could easily have been on this list and maybe should have been, but it's just the way things are. I had to take out so many people. It's still a minority of my favourite characters are women, so I don't know if that's an issue with me or with the way they're written. But Hannah and Brooke are very similar, is what that massive segue was saying. I'm sorry about that, that was terrible. They're both quite bolshy and have this one side that turns out to not be their main side. Hannah's also hilarious because she's ditzy, but she is really smart, so I really like that. I like when characters who are smart can say stuff that's really dumb, so everyone might assume that Hannah's stupid, but she's actually one of the smartest characters on that show. Then number 9, I went for Stiles from Teen Wolf, because I just love Stiles. I don't even know how to say what it is. He's got an aspect of Chandler in him, in that he's the Joker of the friendship group. There's so much depth to the character that we don't know yet. We don't even know his real name, but we know that he's had a real hard life, but he doesn't let it get to him too much. Obviously he does, in that he's got panic attacks all the time and stuff, but that's just a medical thing, because when you've gone through shit, you have to let it out somehow. And then number 10, Sawyer, who again fits the pattern of guy who seems one way and then turns out to have a lot of emotion. So I think the pattern of my characters is they're all outwardly either very funny or seem to be very standoffish, but they're all fiercely loyal to whoever they're loyal to, and I think they're all very strong characters who all go for what they want, and I guess that's what I look for in a character. So yeah. Sorry it wasn't the best video, and I'm sure, beyond doubt, I've missed people out. I just watch so much TV, it was really, really hard to keep track. And a lot of it depends on what I've just watched, what I'm watching at the time. I've been watching a lot of Ally McBeal recently. John Cage so nearly made this list, but he just narrowly missed out. Both Seth and Ryan from the OC nearly made it, Scotty from Brothers and Sisters, and all the women that I mentioned above, who maybe should have done to get the gender balance, but I was being honest. So that's it for me. And I'll see you guys all next week, and I'm interested to see who Rachel and Sophie put. I have a good idea for Rachel. It'll be interesting to see who I think Rachel will put down. She does put down. No pressure, Rachel. Okay then, bye!